Okay. Aloha oko. Um, Mahalo for joining us today for our Kiala Kupu ceremony, our Kihei ceremony, 2021. Just as a reminder, if you saw in the first slide, to please be on mute. So as a courtesy to everybody else, so we can focus and pay attention and just be a part of the ceremonies for today. Okay. Now, this is in Aloha. I am Dolly Tatofi, and I will be your kumu for today. And a name that I am very honored to be called um, throughout the years, for the past few years now, and which comes with a lot of kuleana or responsibility. So I'm very grateful for this time and for being a part of all of this right now for our haumana or our students, in honoring them and their journey right now. And so it's a very unique ceremony, a ceremony that we usually are doing in person. We usually designate a spot um, on campus, but because of the pandemic, this is our second year that we're doing this virtually. And so, special time for a special occasion. Yeah. And, right now, there's a lot of emotion, a lot of excitement, a lot of anxieties, a lot of worries, all kinds of emotions, high energy today. So, one thing too, as we all gather during this time, we are actually all focusing in on this moment, and for a reason. And when we do that, we're basically saying that, you know what, we're gonna ground ourselves and focus in our energies on what we're doing today, you know because we care about this, and we honor the people that are participating. So both participants and those that are observing, you all play a special role in today's KA ceremony. So with that, this we when you talk about ceremony, and we're calling it a kihei ceremony, it's a sacred space. Yeah. So we just want to put that out there, you know, creating this space for um, as a time to revere and remember the things that we've all gone through as individuals, as ohana, as kumu, or teachers, however you're a part of this journey. It's a time of reflection, right? And when we say sacred, um, you're basically saying that you're honoring certain values, right? And being a part of the processes, and just being a part of. Yeah. So I mahalo to everyone for creating this space right now. And usually within the space, there's physical things that we would normally do to create that sacred space and kind of mark the space. Yeah. Um, right now, because it is a special time, our space is much larger than on campus at UH Manoa, which is pretty unique. Our space is with each and every one of you right now, either whether you're by yourself or whether you're with a family, ohana, whether you're with dear friends, whether you're with someone else that's special to you. Each and every one of you contributes to a much bigger vahi, so a much bigger space. Yeah. And that's pretty phenomenal, I have to say. So, with that in mind, and I apologize if there's noise in my background. Sometimes there's things that are just not in my control. And we just take a pause. Okay. So, with with practice, right? With any practice, any indigenous practice, Hawaiian practice, culture still goes. The culture keeps going. The hula dancer still dances. Those that lomi lomi or massage, they continue to lomi lomi. Those that create kappa, beautiful kappa. You know, they still do those things. They still connect with the Aino or the land. They connect with the people that can help support, perpetuate these practices. Yeah. And we do the same as well. So just in a more interesting or beautiful way, really. I have to say this is a pretty special time. I can't say that enough. So, some things to kind of remember during this time is, there's a lot of things to remember and think of during this time. And one of the messages that kind of pop out is, as I talked about sacredness, right, is each and every one of you is sacred if you hold those values and those beliefs and those ideas with you. So sacredness doesn't have to be a place, it can just be with you. Yeah. It can be you in the way you carry yourself, the way that you do things, the way that you practice. And sure enough, as you hold those things true to you, your sacred place, your sacred being becomes your sacred place wherever you go. So remember that. Yeah. Sacredness is wherever you go, just as long as you holding that. Yeah. And you carrying that yourself. So during these times, right? Pandemic, nana iloko. So look inside. This is a very introspective time. So check out what's going on with you inside. Yeah. Whatever you're going through as an individual, what do you do to ho'opono that? What do we do to make it right? What do we do so that you don't feel heavy? You know, how do you go about doing things in the most highest and greatest of ways and with the most aloha that you can? Yeah. And also you gotta ho'ohohonu, or kind of go deep. Try to make deep. So try go deep within, and it's not just being about on the surface. So this is another message that I'm getting for this year is how do we look at things below the surface, not take things at face value, but how do we kind of take it deeper than that? Yeah. So that's another thing. There's sometimes things aren't what they seem, is what I'm trying to say. So take a pause and check it out and see what that is for you. And always be present in Ikea Manava, in the now, because this is where you have all the control. Yeah. We cannot control the past, we cannot control the future. Yeah. But you can control now. So take that time to take that control in the now. Yeah. And so a lot of the things that um, we've gone through with our hamana and our students during this time is talk about these things and how to bring that in and really practice these things. It's one thing to learn something, it's another to practice. So and it's something that we continue to strive to do better and better. We're not gonna get them on the first try. Yeah. But it's about you and your intention and how you focus and decide to practice it, really. Yeah. How much energy you're going to put into that. Okay. So like I said, everybody, participant or observer, plays a big role in this ceremony. Kukulu kumohana comes to mind, and basically it's the building of mana, and focus on what we're doing right now. So as much as we all play our different roles. We all have our certain kuleana and responsibilities. But even though you might not be the participant, your presence is really, really important during this time. And maybe you helping take care of the keiki during this time, which is awesome. There's a task for everybody. Yeah. Everybody plays a role. It's very important. Um, so as we start off the day, we're gonna do a lot of oli. Um, and just one more thing to kind of keep in mind, yeah. Um, So there's three oli that I'm going to be doing to help with our space. The first oli that I'll do is for our aina. Usually I would go ahead and bless our aina if we were all together in one place. Right now, it's for everybody's aina wherever you are. Yeah. And the second oli that I'm going to do is for iloko. So in your actual space that you're at, wherever you are, if you inside your house, your hale, maybe you're outside in the patio, or maybe you're out in the open, if you're able to do that, um, this oli will be for that. And then the last one will be um, for you as an individual, or and yeah, for everybody, just you as the individual. Normally we would do this only with water, with vai, but being that I'm not able to be at every single space at this time, um, we are gonna let the the leo, the mana leo, so the leo that comes from my mouth, be able to do that for you, just like vai. And so, in the words of Papa Awai, one of our La'au Lapa'au practitioners, thing La'au or herbs or plants is only really 10%. 10% plant. 90% is spiritual. Yeah. So there's a whole other part of substance, of the things that are material and in front of us. There's a whole other part to these things that we cannot see, that is so much more important. So just want to put that out there so that you have an understanding of what we're doing. And just as long as everybody focuses in and has the same intention, and we all put that makia or that focus into what is being done and how that's going to help each each part of today, everything will work out fine. So with that, I can go ahead and I will start the oli. And this is for the three oli for our spaces, yeah, for Aina right now. So everybody kind of pay attention and hone in on the oli. E kia kua e pule ia e holo ia nei ka po i nau ka aina a me ka palea e I pau ko ka aina au mi. E pule ia e ho pau ana ina e wa ka aina a pau. I pau ke e a me ke ka pau. I pau ke kulopia me ka pelelu. Ibau kaulielana laila ni ho peku ho emu hui kala malapakai ka mauli hoi ke auai. Olielua. This is for you loco, so for in your home or your space. E o mau ia I vai ka po mai e na na ia mai na ia pau a mai luna la lu mai ka hiki ia ka hiki. Mai ka hiki na ke komo hana mai gauka ke kai. Mai loko a waho ia ia mala mai ia e pare aku ina o pili kia na I ko ka ko wahia pau. Mama wano. E kolu oli, ia oko, apau. Eia, kaleo ake ola, oki ka haumia, Ale na pilikia pau. E ola no.
E ho mai ka ike mai luna mai e. O nā mea huna nueo. O nā mele. E ho mai. E ho mai. E ho mai e. Ho mai ka ike mai luna mai e. O nā mea huna nueo. O nā mele. E ho mai. E ho mai. E ho mai e. Ho mai ka ike mai luna mai e. O nā mea huna nueo. O nā mele. E ho mai. E ho mai. E ho mai e.
Nā o mākua mai ka la hiki a ka la kau, mai ka hoʻokuʻi a ka hālā vai. Nā o mākua mai ka hina a kua, mai ka hina, ia ka hina a kua, ia ka hina alo, ia ka akau i ka lani, o ki hai i ka lani, o wei i ka lani. E ia ka pula a o kou, nā hoa kako o mānoa, e mālama o kou ia mākou, e uli i ka lani, e uli i ka honua, e uli i ka pai aina o Hawaii. E ho mai ka ike, e ho mai ka ika, e ho mai ke akamai, e ho mai ka maupopopono, e ho mai ka ike pāpālua, e ho mai ka mana. A mama o noa.
E yo we, ku e manue. E haraku ne ka pulea ka lau. Kulia kalani a uli ana mu yana we. Ka ne hei luna, ka ne hei lalo, ka kau ka hema. Kuma kani hai kalani, he hili ka kai kalani. Ka wila nui mai he hai kalani. Ane kalani e ola ke kana. O mai ka lue a ka ike ka mana ia e ka onuala. O ala wali I o ka hiwai hoai a wa o lelo. Eli ka mai. Ah, mama wano.
Kunihi ka mana I te lai e, o wai ale lai wai lua. Huki ai lai ka lani, ka papa wai o ka wai kini. Alai ai ele no, nalo ka ipu haa, ka lala maka o ka paa e. Mai paai ka leo, he oli ka hea mai e.
Ai ke kana ka e como maloko. Ana ia e waka mai e ia no ka kula o ka leo. Ah, he leo, wale no way.
Velina, velina manoa I ka lehua aloha, aloha ua tuahine. Mai lua hine ia iua I kiki, kia I ke kahaukani. Kani no na leo, e o kama aina, aina aloha e. Manoi.
A kia ka moana nui. Ho'olalani ia o iwikua mo'o. E pulama I mohala nā pua kū I ka mana. E kupu a liko a'e, e ulu a wola mau, a kau I ka puaniani. Iola mau, ka lā hui.
Mahalo, uko. So now that we've gone through all the oli, we're at that period in our ceremony today that we will um, be sharing about our kihe and why we've come to this point with our kihe. And this picture right here is a picture of my kihe, and my kihe is pretty simple. Nothing fancy about it, but holds plenty meaning to myself. And during a time, I graduated back in 2010, and we did not have a kihe ceremony. So, I lots of um I commend a lot of our hamana and our kumu that have collectively decided to carry on this practice, and weave it into our school, because it brings so much more to the work that we're doing as we're going through, these learning years. Yeah, a lot of learning, a lot of practicing. And so during my time, we had the Hawaiian Learning Program, and Auntie Lynette, and also Uncle Likeke, Paglina One, and Auntie Malina Ku'ulukukuya as well. These were my kumu at the time, during my journey through the Myron B. Thompson School of Social Work. I know now we're Thompson School of Social Work and Public Health. Yeah. But at that time, that's where I got to learn a lot of the Hawaiian values and practices and processes and ideas and beliefs. And out of that time was the time when we took the time to make our own kihe, you know. And this was only a select amount of students, that was doing this. But still, yet, something started back then. Things evolved over the years, and now here we are, doing an actual ceremony for our kihe. And so, what's it about the kihe, really? Why is it so important, and why did we feel that it was important to integrate into what we do today? So, the kihe holds a lot of symbolism. I mean, there's symbolism everywhere. Like how I said, we need to look deeper, look below the surface, right? Same thing in symbols. When there's a lot of symbols everywhere. I mean, when I made my lepo'o today, lots of symbolism in here. I carry the goddesses of my valley in Kalihi. So like Lau Kipala. I have some yellow la'i in here, tea leaf. I have some ulu in here from my aina, from my land. And they all hold something special to me because they come from where I live right now. And I honor them, and I respect who they are, because if I do, they take care of me as well. They'll feed me, they'll protect me in different ways that I cannot even imagine sometimes, but it's just being able to have that relationship with them and honor them. And so I bring them in this space as well. Yeah. So regarding my kihe, I use the mai'a for the circular patterns on my kihe, to symbolize lots of different things, family, circle of life, reminding me that things come around full circle, you know, um, remembering to who I am as a whole person, you know. So those shapes are important to me, you know. And then the squiggly line, um, symbols on my kihe, has to do, for myself, has to do with the aina, So with the land, with the elements, with the ocean, just reminding me that there's that relationship that I need to always continue to remember and always respect as well. Yeah. And now you see that there's like a whole rest of my kihe that's empty. Yeah. And that's to remind me that, there's a whole big expanse, really, and that I never stopped learning. I never stopped growing. I never, I, I can't lock things into one thing, right? And that's what we hear a lot about, right? You can't learn everything in one halau, right? We learn things in many different ways. Yeah. We might use the same elements, the same tools, but we each come with our own special being. Our unknown is very special, or the essence of who we are is very special. And we bring something special to those tools that we use. And so that's a reminder for me. And so at this time, we want to be able to break out into breakout sessions. And I believe there's about four of them, I believe. And we're going to be talking about our kihe and what that journey was for you. What were the symbols that you've come, and what were some of the things that you went through, that's important, why is this so important for you? Yeah. So this is an opportunity to share. Okay. And yes, we do have the questions in the chat box just in case you need some guidance. Okay.
Okay, we'll be opening the rooms now, and we'll be in the rooms for 15 minutes.
Just reminiscing a little bit. Kupu ka uka o pi honua ke ki hapai wa ulu maki e hi e i laila i ke i kanani o nā pua ala e nui vale hai hai ka uka o pingonua ke ki hapai wa ulu mahi e hi e i laila i ke i kanani o nā pua ala e nui vale hoʻohihi nā manu o ke kuaiwi nā iwi ma ka polena I ka ono I ka whai o nā pua o moani ke alai ta ulu vehi vehi mahalo ia oe e ka I ka hoʻokipa I nā malihi e ia kole poina ole makani lei o nauna haina ia mai ana ka puana moani ke ala I ka ulu vehi vehi ia pumako e o mai oe ki mo ka ukaiu e inoa
Oh, okay. Aloha oko and welcome back and mahalo for everybody that was able to participate in a breakout session and being able to share your mo'olelo or your story behind your kihe, which is very, very unique and special to you. Yeah. So mahalo for being a part of that, and and sharing in that, really, I'm really excited for each and every one of you as we um, get into the tying of our kihei. But, you know, before we get into that, it says, so our slide says, Nana ike kumu. Oh, mahalo. Um, Nana ike kumu. So look to the source, yeah? And as I was kind of thinking about this a little bit, I was like, normally if we were all physically together and with each other, you know, we would designate our kumu or a special person to tie our kihei during this time. Um, or there's someone that we've always been super connected with that really helped us along in our journey. Yeah. Our space is bigger now. Yeah. So actually, not only nana ike kumu, but I'm also thinking hoihi ike kumu. So how do we honor our kumu? And our kumu doesn't just mean, our teachers, um, kumu can be any source of knowledge that has come to you. Yeah, it can be anybody. But at this time, we actually would like to hoihi, ho'ohoi, so hoihi, not ho'ohoi, but hoihi, um, our kumu at this time, and honor them and respect them, because the things that they have done, curriculum is curriculum, information is information. Um, but it's actually the kumus and the teachers that do it in a way to help you understand what these concepts or these ideas are. What are the things that they're showing you? Um, it's about them helping to stimulate your minds and your hearts and your being, to be open and awake to the knowledge that they're passing on to you. So with that, there's a certain amount of kuleana as well, right? So some responsibility with that. Yeah. So at this time, you want to take this time for to hoihi our kumu, whoever they may be, within our school. Maybe there's kumu outside. I know that we had a few practitioners that joined us, right, and helped us through the kihei journey as well. We want to honor them as well. Yeah. um, we not only revere the ones who are participating and observing at this time, we also honor those who have shared their ike or their knowledge with us. Yeah. So with that being said, we all pulled together our focus and our mana on the oli mahalo that I will do. And it's a oli mahalo that doesn't say mahalo in it. Pretty special oli. And it comes from my halau brethren, my two halau brothers that was able to haku this mele. Um, that and it talks about the awamo and how, there's this all these descriptions in the oli, and um that shows gratitude, pretty much. Yeah. How can you do an oli and just show immense gratitude for everything, you know um oh, maybe that was a honk for me if you heard that, or for you. um so right now we want to go ahead and do an oli mahalo for our kumu. So keep in mind who these kumus are in your life. um and it could also be from within your own family as well, but we honor all. Yeah, we won't leave anybody out. Okay, so focus on the oli. Ikulani ha go iga olu e ga mai e ga mai ga wa mo ke kule ana ave bele ia ga ume ke ie ga wa koko le ua ga pui loko ne aki ke pa mo hi hua ia ga ipu pa ve ai ai luna ia no ke opu ala ga we ba ye go le ga wa mo e a bai go pono e alo i e alo Mahalo to all the kumu near and wide. Um, this goes out to you, and we are very grateful for your very essence and what you have brought forward and shared with all of our hamana during this time, and also with myself because I was touched um, by some kumu as well over the years and even during this time and space as well. So mahalo to all of you for being here and being who you are. Mahalo. And with that, we will transition into the tying of our kihe. Okay. And normally, I apologize. I know I need my mic. Normally, like I had mentioned before, our kumu or that special person will be tying our kihe on our shoulders. And our kihe is tied on our left shoulder. Yeah. Um, last year when we did this virtually, a Hoailona came to me as I was talking with Lily Noy, and a Hoailona is a message, right? And it could be a message from anywhere, really. But it's things that just happen, and you got to pay attention to. Yeah, what are the signs, pretty much? Yeah. So, and I told Lily Noy, he's like, Lily Noy, I think this year, which was last year, I think the Hamana are gonna tie their own kihe, and I don't know why. And this right after, soon after that, the pandemic started, and we had to go into all these restrictions and everything like that. So, um, mahalo to the powers that be that was able to share that message with me, and for Lily Noy and her crew, her hui, which included also Kiola, um, Loke. I mean, we had a whole lot of hands helping out during that time and making this a reality. So this year we do the same, and majority of our hamana will be tying on their kihe. If the Yeah, and we've gone over these things, and it's just a way for us to go ahead and bring honor to our kihe, because our kihe is not, it's not a tablecloth, it's not a curtain, it's not something that you're going to use for dry your body after you go to the beach, you know um it's not something we throw around. It is something to be respected and revered, something to be reminded about. It's something that reminds us, of our journey. And when you really stop and think about what the kihe is, it really is an extension of you. So I don't keep that in mind. You don't want to put your kihe in places that is not going to bring honor to yourself. And so, when we talk about you got to aloha yourself, this is part of it. Physical, visual, yeah, it's right there in front of your face all the time. Um, Remember to also take care and malama you, malama you kihe, yeah, as if it's you, because it is. All the symbols, all the energy you put into it is you. And that's very special. And that's a good reminder, ongoing reminder, for you as you continue going on your journey after school of social work. Yeah. So with that, we're gonna ma kakao. And ma kakao is mean let's get ready. So if everybody's ready, and those that have their kihe, and we were gonna start with the tying of our kihe. Okay. Ahua pa'u ahuna hi kepa. Niga pa'u no e I o olu ua. Iho o ka rua ia pa'a. Ku au au kapali o gawai gapu. He huina pa u pali no gupe hau. He holo a pa aia pa ai ono ka like that. I apologize. I can't see everybody, but I'm thinking everybody should be tied up. Their kihe should be tied up to their left shoulder. Okay. And so, we've come to the end of our ceremony. And before we go, I just want to leave a few words with you all before we go, because it's always a pleasure and an honor to be standing here before all of you and be able to share what I know, what I know, um, because it doesn't make sense if I don't share what I do know. Yeah, it's the kuleana of everybody else to take what I share with you and take it further. Learn more about anything that you might have learned at this time. Yeah. And we talked a lot with our with the Haumana, with the students about um intention. Yeah. What is your intention? Who are you? Where you come from? And what is your intention? Yeah. Um I cannot, it's all about mana, about your mana, where your energy is. And so, some real life stories during this week. It's always pretty hectic when finals week comes, right? And you're ending the semester and your energy is all over the place. And you have to think about why you feel like you might be spinning around and around, right? Your mana, is going to, oh, I gotta do this assignment. I forgot to do this for my friend. Oh my gosh, my mom needs this and I didn't do it. Oh my gosh, our mana is all over the place, which makes sense why you would feel like you're out of place. Take the time to pause, as we learned yesterday during our Ha session, to focus and hone in on you again. Bring yourself back to you. Don't forget your mana and stand in your mana as well. Your Ha, very important part of you. It's the first thing that we need when we come into this world, and it's the last thing we leave this world with as well. Our Ha, our breath. Yeah. And your breath, your Ha, important in your healing as well, with all of the mana that you accumulate. And sometimes it's not even your mana. We can breathe them out, let them go, breathe it out, breathe all the stuff, iloko, all the things inside of you, let them go, release it. Forgiveness and releasing is a beautiful thing, you know. Do it often. Don't let it stay inside you. Manaha, makia. So intention, like I mentioned, we can do all the things that we want to do, but what is our intention and where is our focus? um Really important, because wherever you direct your mana, wherever you direct your focus, is is pretty much brings things to life, if that makes sense. Yeah. um where your mind goes, mana go. Where your mana goes, your mind goes. Wherever your mind goes, that's where mana goes. There's actual scientific evidence behind this. Who would have thought, right? Your mana, your ha, makia. And how do we do this? And I cannot stop talking about aloha and what I learned through Ponoshim, who was taught by Auntie Pilahi Paki, and all the things that are um, that she shared about aloha. And one thing that really comes to mind, as I was reminded in a breakout session, is about lokahi. And lokahi means unity, means balance, means harmony. When you go deeper, as Auntie Pilahi Paki shares, it's about being unbroken. And what does unbroken mean? Unbroken means we was never separated. So as we continue to figure out what does it mean that we all connected, what does lokahi really mean? What does this mean? Um, we connected to everything. We've never ever been separated. You know, yes, it be four of us, and the physical things have separated us. Um, and I mentioned that in terms of our Hawaiian history, right, and what happened in terms of when we had Western influences, right? Physically, we were separated, but on a whole other level, we were never separated. So remember what that is, and come to understand that through your senses and how you feel about those things. Don't forget your na'au, your guts. Don't forget your pu'uwai, your heart. It's telling you something. Do things in aloha always. And that's what I leave with all of you. Always with aloha. And I learned that from Auntie Lynette Paglinoan. Always with aloha. Um, so I aloha oko. I aloha all of you. And I look forward to meeting you more and connecting with you more out there as you become social workers. Mahalo.
Mahalo nui to everyone for joining us today. We cannot mahalo you enough for taking this journey with us. And we want to also send a huge mahalo to Kumudali for guiding us on this journey. So mahalo nui to you, Kumu.
Oh, I was gonna end with an oli, wasn't I, Lili? No, I forgot. One last oli. Since we ran a run today with oli, so one last oli. And Okaola, if you know Okaola, then feel free to do it on your end. It's not gonna work if we're all unmuted, but it's an oli for health. You know, our we cannot pull enough for good health. Yeah, so I share that with all of you. Ukaula ke akua e na mai ka mau pula pula e ola kanigo a umaka iole Apalalo hala hakauika puane ane. Alai la la ve aku oia uige alo ke ai. Mahalo.
Aloha and mahalo for joining us. This will conclude this part of the ceremony. We're going to be ending this session, and we'll ask that you rejoin following the links that you were provided in about 15 minutes. The next part of our program, Convocation, will begin at 5 o'clock. Mahalo.
Mahalo.